So, welcome to this episode of the infamous Kevin Straw podcast. I'm your host, Kevin, and today I have Alyssa with me, and we're going to be talking about sustainable clothing. Alyssa, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Graham. I'm originally from Ukraine, and I lived for almost a decade in the Middle East, and my career, my education had nothing to do with sustainability or creativity or textiles or fabrics at all. It just was my hobby. But I was meeting many people through my life journey, that inspired me and probably made me think about different aspects of creativity. And then it came to clothing, so it was just all different. I tried many different things, and my first upcycling project it took place almost 25 years ago. It was my dad's t-shirt, and I chopped it and made a top for myself, so I really loved it. And around 3 years ago, we moved to the UK with the family, and I noticed that there are quite a few charity shops in the area. And I started asking questions and started doing research about why and how and what, a lot of questions. What happens to clothes and why it's there and where it goes to, a lot of things. So, and I realized that a big problem, how I started, thinking, how can we change this and what can I do? And I at some point I was thinking what I'm going to do next: either go to college and study something and find a job, or just do my own thing. And I started teaching people sewing and mending, and I really loved it. I was inspired by my friend Ursula Connolly. I met her in Ireland, and I really, really loved my classes, my first classes. She helped me a lot with that. And I knew how to design them, somehow. Probably my teaching background, my first degree was English teacher. And then my career was not all of it, but some of it, major part of it, was around writing procedures and processes for big corporations, multinational corporations. And this helped me to design my lessons and design my online course as well. So it's just basically writing the same procedure, but it's something I love, something I'm passionate about. And yeah, that's how it all started, basically.
Okay, that's cool. So today you're basically teaching people how to basically like repair clothing and to how to like upcycle.
Yes. Sewing, mending, I do a lot of different projects, with different aspects. For example, one of my Christmas workshops was how to make a reusable greeting card from old cards that we have at home.
Okay.
And it's really good. It was popular and people loved that, And also, in between the lines, when I teach, I give people information. Every class that I run, every class that I had, now I don't have them face to face, unfortunately, because of the situation. So with every class, I gave some information, so people not just be creative at my class and do funny things. They learn something, and it's really good, So even in the way I dress, I make sure that my clothes is very noticeable and people talk to me. So it's some sort of conversational starter, icebreaker, and showstopper. So I wear all this crazy looking jeans and handbag made from school jumper and embroidered tops, so people notice me and people talk to me. So that's how I start conversation and tell them what happens to clothes in charity shop. So that's how I'm trying to introduce this educational moment into how I teach people and how I dress myself as well. It helps.
Okay. Well, that sounds excellent. So in terms of like somebody wanting to sort of start down more of a sustainable road in fashion versus sort of the fast that
Mhm.
is sort of instead of the fashion enterprise, what would generally be your recommendation? Should they be like going to thrift stores, or should they be trying to like basically reuse what they already have?
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. For example, if I ask you to go for 200 days without buying new clothes, would you do that?
I'm pretty much on that right now.
Not right now.
I don't think I've been clothes shopping since probably September.
Oh, okay. So that's good. So you've done already more than 200 days, and can you do it till the end of the year?
Probably.
Yeah. So probably, yeah, you got used to it already, and people have been in lockdown for a few months now, and it's kind of a new habit.
Yeah,
And
there's being in lockdown, you're not putting as much wear and tear on your clothing. Like I
yeah,
would say, like, socks I might need at some point, but everything else seems to be, it's no worse for wear.
yeah. For those who would like to start, and I would suggest I have some sort of hashtag and campaign now. Um, it's 200 days that matter.
Okay.
And I encourage people to go for 200 days without buying new clothes. But of course, we have different situations, different circumstances, and socks and stuff that, wear and tear, yeah, definitely. That's fine. But impulsive shopping, try to avoid it. Think when you think about buying something new, do you really need it or you want it? Or it's just 1 minute impulse and you will forget about it the next morning. So 200 days to start with. And another thing I would suggest to try and mend your clothes, look after your clothes in a better way so it lasts longer. I always say that the most sustainable clothes, that's something that you have already in your wardrobe.
Hmm.
And I would suggest to stick with it. And another aspect of looking after your clothes is the way you look after it. I mean, washing, how often you wash it, and is it tumble dryer that you use or you put it outside on a line. There's also small things that important because the clothing is shedding a lot of fiber during washing cycle,
Yeah.
and it all the
Well,
ocean.
for us here in the winter, we use the dryer because it's freezing cold outside.
Mm.
And here in the summertime, we have a line outside, and we'll put, I think, about half the clothes out on the line. Some
Mhm.
of the smaller items will get washed or put through the dryer just simply
Mhm.
because they take up a lot of room on the line for not a lot of like actual clothing.
Yeah.
And they're just easier to dry. So that's definitely a good idea. In terms of like picking clothing, like if you were to go out and you'd have to like buy something new, is there anything that you should be like looking for in terms of like picking like one fabric or one type of clothing over another? Like I know I have a hoodie that I absolutely love that's from 2009. I know it's from
Mhm.
2009 because I got it on a trip in 2009 and I still have it today. And some of the pockets are a little worse for wear, but we just I'm gonna say stitch it up and it's still good to go. But like that's cotton blend and it seems to be pretty robust. Whereas I find like there's some other newer age fabrics where they start to rip, they just go. So any sort of advice in that area?
I love visible mending. It's fun and it looks really good. And when you do something with your garment, it becomes unique. It has a story to tell, and it's a skill that not everyone can have and can do. Visible mending, for example. Yeah, I've got a few items in my wardrobe that I didn't wear, and I just looked at them and I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do. It was a top that became too narrow for me at the bottom and around my hips. And then I had a sweatshirt that I got in 2017 and I didn't wear it because the design was not really comfortable. I got it from charity shop, and the top I got in Las Vegas during my trip, and it's some sort of memory for me. 2013. I got it in 2013 or 14. So I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do, and I made a dress from these two items, and the colors were matching like really, really great. It was amazing. And I love this dress now. And I didn't wear these items separately, but definitely I will wear them as a dress. And some people have, prejudice against wearing something that was patched or mended. Yes, I understand that, but there is a trend, and it's fun trend, and it's also good for your mental wellness. Having
Yeah.
some me time, relaxing time, and I even noticed when I do some hand stitching before I go to sleep for 10-15 minutes, I sleep straight away, no issues. And for example, your case, your hoodie, you can add fabric, you can reinforce it. Would you learn stitching, by the way, hand sewing?
I do know some hand sewing. I learned when I was quite young.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I was trying to encourage some men to join my classes, and I even wanted to create a men-only class called Guys and Stitches. But yeah, I couldn't find brave men and courageous, to join. But still, I probably will push for it again later, to do some online course, or probably they were shy to think, So sustainability. To go and do shopping, I would suggest to learn more about what happens with your clothes that you want to buy, or maybe you have a favorite brand. Just do some research, how it's made, who is making it, because there is one aspect of making clothes is sustainability, and there is a different aspect. It's corporate social responsibility,
Mhm.
and it's about people who make this clothes, what conditions they work in, what wages they get, and all these different bits and pieces. They're a part of clothes production, and it's really, really important. The fabric that's clothes made from is also important. The problem now that we have, it's a lot of mixed fibers that is used in fabric production.
Mhm.
Polyester, viscose, and it's 50-50 cotton, polyester. And when this cloth is made, it's difficult, it's impossible to recycle it. In the world, only 1% of all clothing is recyclable, actually, and something new is made from it. That's all because of the way it's made,
Mhm.
quality of threads, quality of fabric, and it's not possible to recycle it. And this is important. I would suggest to stick with the natural fibers, wool, cotton, silk, linen, and But again, there is a problem with that. Cotton is very thirsty. It takes 7,000 gallons of water to produce one pair of jeans.
Mhm.
And some rivers are disappearing, and also there is aspect of how ethical the production company is. A lot of farmers in India, they commit suicide because they take loan, and then they have this cotton farm and they cannot do this to repay their loan. They just commit suicide because it's the pressure that they put on themselves.
Mhm.
So there are many, many different aspects, and companies are doing greenwashing. Unfortunately, they present themselves as green, ethical companies,
Mhm.
sustainable companies, but in reality it's not what they do. As an example, there are collection bins in some of the stores, and they say that they recycle clothing. No, not really. Again, because of the way the clothing is made, it's not possible to recycle it.
Mhm.
So again, greenwashing, big aspect of this as well. Uh, some sustainable brands are, expensive. Not everybody can afford them. So that's the problem, really.
There's definitely an aspect of some of the more sustainable brands that I've heard about are also some of the more expensive brands. And the quality of clothing is higher, but you're sitting there going like, well, I want to buy a t-shirt, but instead of spending $10, I'm needing to spend $20 or $30 for
Mhm.
I'm going to do the quote thing here, sustainable brand. And that I think is a major barrier to building up a sustainable society, because you have people who are being like, well, I'm going to buy 3 t-shirts that are inexpensive and they'll wear out and they're maybe not made by sustainable cotton. And you have it where it's like, or you could buy 1 t-shirt that's going to last a while, but then you only have 1 t-shirt. And I think that's sort of the mental block that a lot of buyers are getting to. It's like, they want to see value for their money, but they also want to see quantity for their money. Especially when you say, there's a lot of people who go out there and they buy a lot of clothes all the same time. It's like, how often are you going to wear that particular garment or dress or t-shirt or jean before it sort of either A, goes out of style, which is another big problem with sustainability, is, what's in style this year might not be in style next year. And people want to stay sort of into the fashion trends. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, something that you just mentioned, it's just a habit called consumerism. And yes, people would like to wear different clothes, and 3 t-shirts are better than 1. I understand. Yeah. And yeah, there is a category of people who would buy, let's say, 10 items, and they spend $200 for these 10 items, maybe less. Oh, 100, yeah, for 10 items. And yeah, there will be poor quality and all those, it's going to be cheap, and conditions where the workers work. Yeah, it goes down to consumerism and our habits. And this is just a matter of trying to be better and learning a bit more about what you buy. And if you pay more for clothing, you will respect it more as well. Yeah, fast fashion companies. What is fast fashion? For me, fast fashion reflects the speed at which the item enters our household and then it leaves it. So that's, and also the speed of production. So it's quickly, there is a new trend, so there are items being produced and it's all in the market. So that's the thing. There are different trends, there are different collections that are released every year. Usually it's going to be 2 seasons, summer and winter, for clothes manufacturers. And fast fashion brands, they created, I think it's up to 52 season trends, seasonal trends, if you can call. I cannot call them seasons, the trends.
Okay.
52 every year. So fast fashion brands, they produce probably 52 new collections, and that's a lot, 52. So yes, the way they make them look, and the way they advertise them, so it's all about convincing people that if they buy this, it will make them happy.
Yeah,
but
there's definitely a level of buy this and this will increase your happiness or make you fit in or make you popular. Those tend to be the ones over here in North America that I see a lot. It's like, this is the new trend and you want to be in the in crowd. This is what sort of the in crowd is going to be wearing.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, if you're gonna follow the trend, it's basically putting pressure on yourself. And at the end of the day, it's a financial category for expenditure, if you can call it. Yeah, you spend money on it and it doesn't make you happy. So it's never ending treadmill that you're gonna run. So yeah, mental wellness as well is affected. And once you get out of this, it feels so liberating. And you just, stop being part of this crowd that's, does it without thinking. Yeah, companies are very clever to design their ads. And last Christmas, I remember there was an ad by one of our supermarkets. They show a lady all dressed up and sitting on the sofa with new boots, new skirt, and new top. And there is a subtitles note, that says she just popped in to get her Christmas pudding. So she got she went to the shop to buy some food, and then she ended up buying tops, skirts, and boots. So they're just impulsive shopping. And it's just an example.
So for people who tend to do like impulsive shopping like that, what are some of the recommendations that you would give them to sort of maybe try to stop doing impulsive shopping, or at least minimize what they're buying?
Yeah, you go to a shopping mall with your friends, you have fun, you try different things, and then try not to buy anything and just go home and check your closet first and do shopping in your closet. And then see how you feel next morning. Most probably next morning you won't even remember what you tried on, what you liked, and you probably won't remember that you want to buy something new. So that's a good trick. You go to a shopping mall, try items, have fun, take pictures for your Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't need to know that you bought the item or not. Take pictures for your Instagram. Yeah, you don't have to spend money. So if you're really concerned about this, but next morning, 100%, well, not maybe 100%, but you will be busy with something else and you'll forget about it. You'll discover something new in your wardrobe and it will be much better for you. If you start self-confidence
Mm-hmm.
here, yeah, it's a lot of aspects of this fast fashion is built around self-confidence. But when you learn a new skill, upcycling or mending, sewing, it's a new skill that not many people have and not many people can do, and you will be able to create your unique style. It will be your self-expression, not someone else's, and it will be unique item, specially designed by yourself for yourself. And that's what's important. That's what is valued in handmade items and upcycled items and things like that, all those creative bits that you add to your clothes.
Okay. So in terms of like upcycling clothing, like when you're talking about upcycling clothing, like if you go and you like take a shirt and you upcycle it, you fix, like you put some patches on it or something like that to sort of fix any tears that might happen. Is there a market for that? Or is that sort of now a personal item until, you can't really upcycle it anymore? And then at that point, you're going to probably use it for rags. I hate to say that, but that's what we tend to do here. And then at that point you're sort of getting rid of it. There's no way to like upcycle clothing and then have that put back into the marketplace, is there? Like as a used clothing, people are not going to buy something that's got a patch on it, or is that something you're finding is more trend worthy these days?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a few clothes companies, retailers. They have a few collections of items that look like they are upcycled in the way they're made, in the way the colors are combined together. So it all looks like it's been upcycled, not something created as a fast fashion
Mm-hmm.
collection. So yeah, so it says something about upcycled clothes. The thing about upcycled clothes that it's unique and it's one of a kind, and a lot of people do that for themselves, I know. And there are different categories of upcycling. I analyzed probably, I don't know, thousands and thousands of projects, upcycled clothes projects myself, and I tried different fabric combinations, what works, what doesn't work, and how these fabrics behave themselves together, in the long run. I have two boys, and I want to make sure that my clothes it's unique and it looks good, and at the same time it's durable, and in addition to that I can put it in a washing machine and do not hand wash but in a washing machine, so it saves time.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are different aspects as well, and categories, upcycling categories. One category is when you just do visual mending and do adjustments to your garment. Then the second one, you completely change the function of the garment. It's, for example, when you make an accessory from clothing, and it cannot
Okay.
be clothing item anymore, but it's going to be an accessory. That's upcycling. And the third one is when you create, let's say, new garment from garments and fabrics. So it's going to be garment as a result. So these are three main categories that I found out. Like I grouped all projects into three categories. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I teach. That's what I mentioned as well in my online course. And yeah, people do it, people love it, and as a trend, I'm sure there is a way to make it popular, to encourage people do that themselves or buy upcycled. And I try. For me, it's kind of a challenge, but I every fabric, all items, I there is a way to upcycle them. Even a T-shirt, you can make a handbag, like grocery bag from it, but
Mm-hmm.
you still will be able to use it, and that's good thing. It just goes down to creativity and imagination.
Yeah, I can definitely see turning a T-shirt into a handbag would be pretty easy way to avoid having to go out and buy like these because we have recycled bags out here, but they cost like about $1 or $2. They're not too expensive, however, their longevity is questionable as we keep breaking the handles on them.
Yeah.
If we're putting too many groceries in them, I don't know, but it's like it's a bag. You assume that you could fill the bag.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
So, but at the same time, I look at that and I'm like, well, it's the bags have been theoretically made from recycled material of some sort, but I look at them and I'm like, I can't see a use for this bag material sort of past its current use, which is be a bag. And again, this is like a thicker plastic weave rather than like a plastic one-use bag.
Mhm.
Um, okay, that's very interesting. Again, I sort of wonder from again somebody who doesn't buy that much clothing. And like I'm not sure how I would be able to improve what I'm doing other than like obviously I have a couple pieces that I try to keep in good repair, more for sentimental value than anything, and try to not put clothing through rigorous uses.
Mhm.
The question becomes, is this like from when you're talking about like as it becoming a trend and stuff, is this something that people should be, I don't want to say attempting on their own because I know you do teach a course on it and it's probably a very good idea to take a course because I know I wouldn't be able to learn how to sew by myself. I had to actually be trained how to do that. But is there something where like, is this something that they should be teaching in school? Is this something they should be teaching as like a course, or is it something where it's sort of like it seems to be an optional activity that people occasionally will do? Because I can't really see walking into a store and being like, "I'd like to buy this upcycled T-shirt," because
Mhm.
in consumer, like again, probably consumer mind, but it's a used T-shirt. So what value am I really going to get out of it in terms of like the effort that goes into upcycling it? Because it does take time to do that. Is that not?
Mhm. Upcycle, yeah. If we are talking about upcycled, and if it's not possible to buy upcycled, or the item that was somehow recycled, changed in the way, yeah, it's not always possible, and it takes time. Yeah, I agree, definitely. It depends what you would like to do with the item. Yeah, and then as a result, there will be a certain amount of time that you will spend on this thing. Yes, it's they stopped teaching it at school here in the UK. I think maybe 90s or 80s, as far as I know. Yeah, it was part of home economics.
Mhm.
Now it's different. So I was lucky when I was a child. We had sewing machine in the house and the knitting machine. Even my mom was making clothes, and I was lucky to see how it works and how to learn it. It was easy. So it's part of my inspiration.
Yeah, I remember when I went through high school, there was a course called home economics as well. It wasn't a
Mhm.
mandatory course at all, and it was one of those things where I don't think anyone really took it. Like, I don't even, I think there were a
Mhm.
couple of years when I was there that they didn't even run it because no one signed up for it. And again, it covers sort of again basic stuff that you would need to know about home. And there was generally a trend that you learn this from your parents. To which then, if you didn't learn it from your parents, you didn't know it.
Yeah, parents, grandparents.
Yeah.
Now I think we have a generation when parents, people of my age, they don't know how to sew, but their parents know. So it's just a matter of teaching grandkids.
Hmm.
There is a big gap.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know about your family history, but my family history, you jump back to a couple, like you go to my grandparents' generation, and it's like they're getting into that point where they're in the cities, they're working, etc. You go back to my great grandparents, and it's like they were working on the fields and the farms, and you know,
Mhm.
you didn't have this like fashion industry. It's like, well, you made the stuff, or you get like fabric sheets, and you would go and you would make the clothing from the fabric sheets. Like here in Canada, we had a company called Fabricland, and they were everywhere. Nowadays, they're few and far between where you can actually go in and just buy fabric, because the number of people who actually make clothes and know how to, upcycle something, or even make something brand new, has significantly dwindled in today's sort of, I guess, digital reality of, you want something, click a button and it ships to your door.
Yeah.
Why would you bother learning how to sew or whatever, when you can just literally, click and have it? Although clothing maybe not be the best thing for online shopping unless you already know your size and know your size in comparison to that specific brand.
Yeah, that's true. It just became too easy nowadays, and retail therapy is not the same as we knew it before, because now people have to queue to go to a shop, and then they allow a certain number of people in the shops, and then staff wears masks, and then the distance that you have to keep from other customers in the store, and it's not an experience as it was before, shopping experience. You go and have fun and try this and that.
Yeah,
So
it's yeah. Right now during the pandemic, it's definitely you're here because you need to be, not because you want to be.
yeah, so probably this will also make people think what they really want to do. Either they want to queue in the shop and waste their time, or they want to spend this time on something that's meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be honest, I don't like shopping. It's just, for me, I don't buy clothes for my kids. It's just only uniform. Yeah, it's a bit different, but for them, I usually go to charity shops and buy secondhand. And anyway, they just will kill their clothes. It's messy play, and so I meant
Yeah,
that.
definitely for children, that tends to be the case. They tend to outgrow their stuff. Either they destroy their clothes, or they outgrow it at a pretty rapid pace. Like I know my sister-in-law is basically part of a trade cycle group where it's like, as your kid grows out of stuff, whatever's left over, you sort of trade it back into the group, and you sort of get the next size up kind of thing. And it's sort of a unofficial way of upcycling, but the idea being is, yeah, your kid grew through this in 3 months. They didn't necessarily wear all the clothing, or they didn't wear it out, so there's no reason to send that to a charity shop or send it to like the landfill. It's more, well, if you put it back towards the group and say, who else has a child that just grew into this size, they're able to sort of shuffle the clothes around. At least that's my understanding of how that works.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's a good idea. We have a company here. They just recently launched their website, and it's where you rent clothes. You order, you get some points, and there is subscription fee, and you get a certain number of points. And then you go to the website and pick some items for this number of points, and then after maybe a couple of months you return it and get size bigger. And yeah, that's how it works. But again, the fee, maybe it's a bit not for everyone to afford.
Okay.
I take it easy. I just go to a charity shop and then buy from charity shop. And I have a few items that are already too small, and I'm gonna use them as a fabric to make something new for them again, for my two sons. I have two sons, 3 and 5 years old. So yeah, I'll use probably small t-shirt, tiny t-shirt. I'll use it for patches, or I'll use it to make a t-shirt of bigger size. It's quite easy, basically.
Okay.
I think I will spend less time on remaking their clothes than looking for something new.
Awesome. That is good to hear.
If you really need to, but I mean, I don't know. It's just the whole thing. Yeah, people. It's just a habit that can be easily changed. That's it for people that don't want to learn all those details about how it's made, and but just easy. Buy less to start with. Just buy less. That's it.
There's a story I can tell you that I had a pair of shoes that I I hate shoe shopping. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's a pair of shoes that I was on a school field trip, and finally the soles fell off. So I managed to find a couple elastic bands from a nearby store, and I elastic band the shoes back together so I could continue to go on the field trip. And then showed up the next, like, came home and was like, "Yeah, my shoes are dead." And we had to go shop for a new pair of shoes because, like, the soles had literally separated from the rest of the shoe. So that's
Oh,
how much I don't like shopping.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I know.
I'm like, has this piece of clothing disintegrated yet? Nope. Oh, still good to go.
It's
Is it
still
still
good to go.
respectably decent? I guess so. Of course,
Yeah.
when you're at work and stuff like that, it's completely opposite. It's like I
Mm,
need something that looks good and professional, but on my
mm,
own, it's like, there's still some life left in this.
mm. Yeah, I have a few pairs of office trousers, and I thought, okay, how to make them wearable for me, because I don't work for a company anymore, and I work from home, and I meet people sometimes outside, and I thought, okay, what I'm going to do with them. So I took apart my kids' jeans, pair of jeans, tiny pair of jeans like this. They were wearing this pair of jeans when they were small and starting to walk, and I dismantled this pair of jeans, and there were two panels of jeans, and I put them as patches on my trousers knees.
Okay.
And so cool, and people ask me about this, these patches, and I tell them the story, and they're like, oh wow, that's amazing idea. So yeah, that's how I turned a formal pair of trousers into a very casual one.
Yep.
It's really cool, yeah.
And I think that's the way people have to go. I think to a certain extent, it's this concept of, there's a lot of formal stuff, and there's occasions when formal is required, but the rest of the time, it you don't need to dress to impress all the time,
Yeah.
especially when you're. I think for a lot of people these days, they're at home a lot and they're out exercising or something. It's like, yeah, if you need clothes for exercising, you don't need to be the most fashionable person running down the boardwalk kind of idea.
Yeah.
It's it's an aspect of, let's not buy every piece of clothing for every little tiny thing that I find sometimes can be quite specialized versus, a hat's a hat, a shirt's a shirt, pants are pants, shorts are shorts, and shoes are shoes. Like, if you're gonna go hiking, you need a pair of hiking boots, but you have to ask yourself, do you need those pair of hiking boots if you're gonna be walking down the street all the time? It's not really what they're designed for. So
Even, even special occasions, you just mentioned special occasions. Uh, Formal dress again. I was having a practical session in one of our sustainable festivals, online festivals, and I was showing a dress that I changed, and I turned this formal dress into something that you can wear for some family occasion event. It just a piece of lace or maybe
mhm,
silk tie. Everybody has silk ties in the house, and people take them to charity shop, because they don't need them. Or even if it's not silk but polyester, still you can use it. And when you dismantle a silk tie, it's a good piece of fabric, and you can work with it. You can use it for upcycling. So I just was showing how I turned this dress, formal dress, into something that can be worn as an evening dress with a
mhm.
piece of lace and piece of silk tie. And it was really great. It makes a big difference, because one color beige dress, it's like nothing. If you want, if you're getting ready for some event, that's just what you can do. And the sizes fit in me, for example. Yeah, so I don't need to spend time and go and buy something, spend money, and it will take me 1 hour to change this dress. So it's win-win. I save money, I save time.
Mhm.
Easy.
Yep. Sounds like it works.
Yeah, 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 it's good, and it looks good, and you cannot tell that it was upcycled, actually.
Well, that's good. And then everyone else is like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And you're like, "Well, I made it." And then they're like, "Okay,
Yeah,
okay, how do
yeah.
I get that?" I think it should be the next question out of people's mouths, which is learn how to do this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
Get them inspired. I love inspiring people. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about all we're going to be able to get today. If you could do me a favor and send me a photo with like something that you're wearing, like upcycled for the logo for this episode, that would be great.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
it just for a visual so people know what the episode's about.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We'll do that.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you
So
very
much.
much for your time today. And I'm going to go through and edit this, and it should be online, not this Monday, but next Monday, because I do it bi-weekly. So
Yeah, yeah, that's brilliant.
just
Yeah,
gives me enough time to hunt down people and be able to record the episode and edit it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll send you everything in the email, and
Yep.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and you'll
You're
drop me the link once it's done. Yeah.
yes. Once it's done, I'll send you a link and stuff. And if there's anything you see in there that you're like, oh no, don't do that, just let me know and I'll magically get it fixed.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. I mean, yeah, in general, I think it went well.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much, Alyssa.
Cheers. Take care.
Yep. Bye. Okay. So in terms of people wanting to contact you, because you did say that you are teaching online courses and stuff, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to learn more about upcycling and potentially take your course, or even potentially try to like teach upcycling in their neighborhood where they may not have the I don't want to say internet access, but like the
Mhm.
online component. Is it
Mhm. Yeah, I have a website. It's called slowfashionbus.co.uk, based in the UK, and all information there. I have a blog, and my book is coming out soon. Hopefully, it's going to be about upcycling again and a few useful tips for different situations in our lives, how to avoid buying something new, and how to do shopping in your closet first. So it's going to be really, really useful. It will have some information from my course as well. So yeah, all things that I do are mentioned in my website, contact details, my Facebook group. Facebook group is also called Slow Fashion Bus, Upcycle and Mend.
okay?
There is a special group for my students who got an online course where I support them. I do live sessions there, and additional learning, because learning is never ending. It's exciting journey, creativity. It's just once you start, you don't want to stop. And it's really good. You can make it's not only about upcycling your clothes. You can save a small fortune by making small gifts for your friends and family, and there will be memories attached to them. And it's a skill, and it's really valued.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. Um, so yes, definitely slowfashionbus.co.uk. I'll also put it link to that in the this podcast episode description. And I would like to thank you for coming out today and giving us this talk about how upcycling can basically help us save money and be a little bit more sustainable for the planet. And have a bit of a unique fashion flair, which hopefully will be more of a trend coming in the future, because I think a lot of people are buying clothes and have, as you said, go shopping in your own wardrobe, and you'll probably find something close to what you were enjoying before, and save some money and help save the planet, I guess, a little bit. So I would like to thank you today, and be sure to check out Alyssa's website.
Thank you, Graham.
You are more than welcome.